Hello, everybody, and welcome to high school football on the ISC Sports Network. This time on a Saturday afternoon. It's got a college football atmosphere here because it's a tournament game. We've got the 8-3 Sullivan Golden Arrows taking on the homestanding number 5 Danville Warriors here at Danville High School. Sullivan comes in 8-3 on the season, their very first sectional championship in school history. Danville, they've been here, they've done it before, a strong football pedigree they've had over the last several years, but should be a pretty good game. We'll break it down for you. Thad Veneer, Jan Bozier here with you, and Jan, we got a pretty good tilt here tonight.
Oh, I think we really do. Both teams are very balanced. Both like to pass, both like to run. Sullivan's really running the football really well right now coming into this game, and I think they'll really want to do that. On the other hand, Danville, man, they're just hitting their stride. Both offense and that defense ranked top 10 against the score. They are solid.
Danville's defense only allowing 9 points per game. That's going to be the key. If Sullivan can stay in this game and get some points on the board, it's going to be huge for them. Danville also led by a junior quarterback named Cole Payne. He doesn't play like a junior, does he?
Oh, he doesn't. He is so solid. He sees the field. He just plays the game, and he's got a rock solid arm.
For Sullivan, you mentioned they're pretty balanced. They got Rowdy Adams at quarterback, 14 touchdowns, 10 interceptions on the season, over 1,700 yards through the air, but then they've also got two backs in the backfield, almost mirror images of each other when you look at their stats, one at 786 yards a game, the other at 778 yards on the season, pardon me. These guys can be dual threat, if you will. They can pass, they can run. How can Sullivan kind of put Danville's defense on their heels?
Well, they have to run the football, but, you know, that's easier said than done against Danville. I really think that Sullivan's going to have to spread it around. They're going to have to be able to protect and allow him to pass. I think they got to pass to open up the run. And
talking to Coach Powell from Sullivan earlier this week, he mentioned, he was like, look, we know that Danville's going to do what Danville does, and he's like, it's up to us on the front line to get them in long yardage situations. And even though Cole Payne is a very talented quarterback, he's like, we have to put them in passing downs. He's like, when they get into their half of the field or our half of the field, he's like, we know they're going to go to their wing action set, and they are trouble to stop at that point.
Well, the problem defending Danville is who do you stop? I mean, you know, in the basketball analogy, double teaming people, trying to do different things. Danville has just great athletes everywhere, so it's pick your poison. And Danville, they're going to come out and want to run the football. And they'll take it as far, and they'll just suck that defense in, and then next thing you know, here comes that passing game.
The Arrows on the road here today. Pretty long trip from Sullivan County next to the Illinois border up here to Danville, but a little bit of a brisk afternoon as far as temperature goes. We're hoping that the weather holds off, and even if it's chilly, it'll be nice for the players down on the field. Let's take our first look at the matchup today. As we talked about, the yardage offensively pretty similar, and both of these teams will break it down almost evenly. There you see Sullivan, 366 yards per game. That's split 186 through the air, 179 on the ground. For Danville, 319. They go 172 yards per game on average, rushing the football 146 through the air for them. Total touchdowns almost mirror images of each other, but there you see the passing touchdowns. Cole Payne, 22 touchdowns on the season, just 5 interceptions. Not only can he put the ball in the air, he knows how to take care of the football as well, doesn't he, Jan?
Yeah, he does, and I said it last week. He sees the game. He knows the game. He's as smart as he is talented. His game A+ last week.
We were talking about this off the air before we started our pregame show here this afternoon, and when you look at Sullivan, their first ever sectional championship, they are jacked up. Coach Powell said it's been an unbelievable week of practice for them. The kids are extremely excited to be here. When you look at Danville, and we're going to talk about a lot of these guys. We talk about Cole Payne, you talk about Dutry, you talk about McGovern. All of these guys have tournament experience just from last season where they advanced all the way to the semi-state. They were a younger team then. Now they come into this season, or this part of the season, they're 9-0 on the campaign, ranked number 5 in the state in both the AP and the coaches poll. I mean, very opposites for both of these programs.
Yeah, it really is. I think one of the keys for Danville, we'll talk about keys here in a little bit, but Danville can't overlook Sullivan. Sullivan's they're very capable. I think a lot of things have to go right for Sullivan tonight. Number one, they can't beat themselves. Number two, they got to play loose. They got to play like they have absolutely nothing to lose. put a lot of pressure, go after them, and make some plays. If they do that, they can compete with Danville.
Sullivan out of the Western Indiana Conference. As I mentioned, they were 8-3 on the year. Within conference play, as we talk about the WIC, that is split up into two separate divisions, but they finished conference play at 2-2. Their losses on the season, a couple of tight ones. They lost to Linton Stockton early in the season in overtime, 22-16. They were also down by Northview in conference action, 27-2, and then they also lost at Indian Creek, 35-28. Was wins along the way as well. They beat North Knox, South Vermilion, which was a team that was ranked highly in 2A as well, and then also West Vigo was another nice win for them. But when you look at that schedule from Sullivan and then you look at Danville, and I'm not going to take anything away from the Western Indiana Conference, but I think it's maybe a slight notch below the Sagamore Conference that Danville plays in. They've beaten Tri-West twice this year. They beat Ritter in the sectional championship game, or sectional semifinal game a couple of weeks ago. They've really been faced with some good adversity and some good opponents along their way.
Well, to your point, Sullivan's losses were all three against pretty good teams. You as a team don't want to have any bad losses. You don't ever want to lose, but the three losses were against really good competition. And since that time, their running game has gotten much better. In 7 games in a row, they have rushed for major yardage. So the rushing game, when it got better, they got better.
We're going to take a quick break here on our Endeavor Communications pregame show. When we come back, we'll have Jan's tease of the game. We'll also get ready for kickoff here. It's high school football on a Saturday afternoon on the ISC Sports Network.
Runs out of a tackle. Hamilton will score. Touchdown, Greyhound.
They're going to say it's a touchdown.
77 yards. Keeper, touchdown. Diving grab.
One-handed grab on the sideline. Oh, my goodness.
What a catch. Ball's out. Boom, right there. Ball game over. What a way to start the season.
Back here at Warrior Stadium, Danville, Indiana, and Danville Community High School. There you good look at the Warriors right there in their crimson uniforms. They have silver helmets with the spearhead along the side. We'll get a look at Sullivan here in a moment, but let's take a look at our keys of the game. Jan, I'll turn it over to you.
All right, well, let's start with Sullivan. Defensive pressure. When it's all said and done, defense is going to set up their offense. They have got to get Danville off the field, and they're going to do that. They've got to maybe do some blitzing. They got to take some chances. But for me, it's all going to start with the defense. On Danville, offensive and defensive front lines, if they dominate, they're going to be awful, awful hard to beat because that front line, it and has been very, very good this year. And if they dominate, they're going to be tough to beat today.
We talked about the success that Danville has had over the years and a couple of different head coaches, but we haven't mentioned their head coach this year. That's Jamie Comer in his first year at the helm here at Danville. Has his team 9-0. He takes over for Casey Woods, who moved on to another position in the Cincinnati area. But as we talked about, Danville with a lot of players returning, a lot of experience within. But for Sullivan, their head coach Blaine Powell, his 4th year at Sullivan, has really built this program to what we see this year. They are very excited about their future, but they're very excited about the present right now. Coach Powell is actually a assistant coach at Linton for 13 seasons before he took the head job at Sullivan. And Jan, I'm from the area down there in southwest Indiana, and when you move from Linton to Sullivan, let me tell you, those two programs don't like each other very much. Those two communities don't like each other very much. So it was a big move for Coach Powell to go over there, but he's really building his program and kind of an image of what Linton Stockton has done over the last 20 years.
Well, you know what he's did? He's brought winning. He's had 3 full seasons, and he's had a winning record every one of. So when you can bring that culture of winning, then you can take big next steps, and that's where he's at. And he's making a huge step here. And if he can knock off Danville, how big a step would that be? And, you know, for Danville, yes, they may have changed coaches, but they have a culture here. They're used to winning. They're used to winning big. And as long as you either maintain or build on an existing culture, let me tell you something, that's special because once you lose that culture, and I've seen some schools who had great culture lose it, it's so hard to get it back.
One thing I'll pick up on that, too, is they don't just have a winning culture here within the football program at Danville. The men's basketball team with Coach Barber's been very strong.
Yes.
Women's basketball has been very good. They've been very good and very consistent in baseball and softball as well. So it's really an athletic department feeling here at Danville that there is success in it. You know, success breeds success is the concept.
That's a great great point. Winning is an expectation. It's, and that's how the culture. That's a great point. And other sports will breed off of that. There's pressure just to win all the time when you set a culture of winning, and for sure it's been here at Danville.
We talked about some of the tournament success for Danville. Let's look at Sullivan. As we mentioned, their first sectional championship ever here in 2020. Their all-time tournament record, 19-35. Their first appearance in the state tournament was 1985. For Danville, get this, Jan, this is their 100th tournament game in school history. Their all-time record, 63-36. That's a 63% winning percentage for them. Their first appearance in the state tournament, 1981. They have won 10 sectional championships, 5 regional championships, and a semi-state. That one came in 2A back in 1999. And so when you look at not only the success that Danville has had, it stretches back nearly 20 years of success that they've had, and going, as I mentioned, 100 tournament games is an insane number for someone that didn't make it their first appearance until 1981.
We're sitting here looking at the Sullivan sideline, and you talking about sending a message of toughness. Half these coaches don't even have a jacket on. They're just wearing shirts. They're portraying to their club. I'm telling you, every little thing you try, here, look at this. No shirts, no sleeves, whatever it is. They're tough, and they're trying to send that message, guys. For us to be a successful program, you got to be tough. I have 3 shirts on and 2 jackets. That tells you I'm not very tough.
I was here early watching a little bit of the warm-ups, Jan, and Sullivan had an energy to them that you don't normally see from a team at this level. They were very excited to be here. It's a big game for them. Danville a little bit calmer, a little bit more cool, calm, collected, but also a lot of confidence coming from the Warriors.
Yeah, Danville just has this attitude of taking care of business. Sullivan goes, hey, we've got nothing to lose. Let's go play ball.
There's the kickoff to Sullivan. It's fielded just inside the 30 and really no return. He's pushed out of bounds at around the 27-yard line, and that's where the Golden Arrows of Sullivan High School will take over, and their quarterback, Rowdy Adams.
I got to say it just one time. Home of my good buddy, Jerry Baker. The Golden Arrows. I told him I'd mention his name today because he's been rooting for his hometown for a long time.
You can mention Jerry Baker whenever you want. the extreme legend when it comes to broadcasting here within the state of Indiana. Good look here at Sullivan. Then their road whites, white helmets, white jerseys, and white pants for them.
And we'll talk a lot about this Danville defense. They'll run a 3-4. 7 returners from last year's great defense.
Inside handoff there, and good yardage on first down, and that's Jaden King. We mentioned the running backs for Sullivan. You'll see these two a lot. Jaden King, number 24, 796 rushing yards on the season, 11 touchdowns for him. Also, number 32, William Newby will get a lot of carries, 788 yards on the season for him. Also 11 touchdowns. I talked about them. Almost mirror images when you look at their statistics. Take a look now at the Warrior defense as they get set here for this third down. Comer, Morrell, Adams, Keith, and McRoberts. Stevens, Wooten, Dutra, Wynn, McMahon, and Papa. Numerous of these players you're going to hear on both sides of the football here today. 3rd and 2. High snap. Adams hands it off, and plenty of running room across the 45 and a first down for the Arrows.
Well, I'll tell you, King's showing us a lot of aggression here early, and we made mention this running game has just continued to get better week after week after week.
Jan, we didn't talk about it too much. Weather today, a little bit on the chilly side. We hope the precipitation stays away, but how could this affect either the offense or the defensive side of the football today?
Well, the good news is we have turf, so that's a plus. There's no substitute for running the football. So if you can run and run solid, you certainly would prefer to be able to do that if the weather gets difficult. But, I want to mention real quick that, last week that Sullivan ran for 288 yards against a Vincennes Lincoln team that was pretty good.
Low pass there, but it was hauled in by Carver Queen, 5'8" senior, wide out for them. Positive yardage on first down. At midfield now. Adams again out of the gun. This time hands it off to King. He's into Warrior territory, but not much, maybe a yard.
Pretty good tackle out there that time by Burrell, and he played an outstanding game last week, number 55. Take a look at him here, coming across, and that's all about your angle of pursuit. That comes by you so fast, so your angle of pursuit is so important defensively. Nice job.
Morrell, just a junior, 6'4", 260 pounds on the line for the Warriors.
5 returners on this offensive side for Sullivan. That
Adams inside handoff, and that was Newby with his first carry. Looks like he's going to be a yard shy of the first down. It'll be 4th and 1, and we'll see. I bet the Arrows elect to go for it here early in this first quarter.
Boy, I would think so. I would think so. You're moving the football, and you're probably the underdog here. The best thing an underdog can do is keep a drive going.
He's got Newby and King to each side of him. Adams with a hard count, and then a flag comes in, and I think they got Danville to jump.
That's excellent coaching. We talk about this week after week. That's just smart football, and I'm a little surprised Danville wasn't talking there. The biggest thing to overcome that quick snap count is communication.
So that'll give Sullivan a first down here. Just inside the 40 at the 39. Adams this time hands it off to King. King taken down by Morrell, but positive yards again on first down. And Jan, it's not anything that's been real fancy, but it's 3-4 yards, and they're moving the chains.
Well, that's a good sign for Sullivan, because if you can find something here, and really they're just isolation dives, nothing fancy, they're going right at one of the best defenses in all of football and 3A, and right now they're having a lot of success running the football. I'll tell you, we talked about how they just have continually got better running the football.
Adams this time to Newby, had some problems with the handoff, juggled it, but it didn't really matter. Still a gain of 5, and it's going to be 3rd and 1.
You know, it's funny sometimes how when you have kind of that missed handoff, how that can take even a defense a little out of rhythm. You think he's going X, then he goes Y. Take a look here. He kind of juggles that football, and it almost stymies the linebackers a little bit. What's going to happen? And then he takes off, and they weren't quite ready for that. Boy, this could be huge if they could get this thing knocked in.
Adams again out of the gun with Newby and King to each side. This time they give it back to Newby, and he's hit in the backfield and taken down.
Well, Jacob Comer really causes the problem. He didn't get credit for anything here on the stat sheet, but what he should get credit for, look at the pressure that he exerts here. See, that's enough just to slow him down, then the linebackers close. Sometimes it's small things that the score sheet don't show that is as important as getting a sack or a tackle.
Jacob Comer and Ethan Dutra, both seniors, both captains for this Danville football team. 4th and 2 here for the Arrows. They have to get to the 29-yard line. Adams hands it off to King. He's hit, spins it off, dives forward. Morrell hit him down, and he is going to be close.
He is going to be real close. What a second effort here. Boy, this is really close. I think he may have got it. Danville doesn't think so.
He was dead to rights in the backfield and somehow slid out of that.
Yeah, that's just a nice spin move to get away from the tackler. Now, depending on which team you root for, both of them think one thinks they stopped, the other thinks they got it.
They're both pointing. They're both pointing.
Somebody's got to be wrong. Ooh, this is a great position.
And it looks like it's going to be Danville football.
So, you know, guess what? Danville's seen it better than Sullivan did. It was a little difficult to tell from our angle, but that's a nice stop then by the defense of Danville.
So come up a half a yard short, maybe a foot short of the line again, and Danville takes over, and there's Cole Payne. On first down, he's going up top down the sideline, incomplete, overthrown.
Wow, that's pretty good defense. That would have had to have been a perfect throw. Step for step is the quarterback, Luke Adams.
Looking for Matthew Brabeck, and there's our starters up front for the Warriors: McCormick, Hayes, Caudell, Woodard, and Pickle. Wynn, Doston, Payne, Wooten, McGovern, Brabeck. We'll call those the skill position players, but Cole Payne, the junior quarterback for Danville, sensational so far this season, has the Warriors 9-0 after coming off their sectional championship over Tri-West last week. This time across the middle for Wynn, and Wynn's got it across the 45 near midfield and a first down.
Well, and I'll tell you, Danville's passing game, they'll mix it up. They really started this with that last play. They tried to stretch the field with that last passing play and then got the secondary to stretch a little bit and then come right back underneath that zone with a nice crossing pattern. See, he's just going to go right underneath that first layer zone, and that's a good offensive call.
This time they hand it off. That one went to Dutra. Nice gain on first down.
He's just a really good running back. Had a great game last week, and they've got a couple really good running backs on that side, so you can't really key on anybody. But Dutra's a solid runner for sure.
Dutra on the season, 503 yards rushing. And they will also mix in McGovern in the backfield. He's just over 650 yards on the season rushing.
470 yards of offense against Tri-West last week. They really put it together.
Payne back to throw. Running back picks up the blitzer, and Payne loose out of the pocket, and he's got enough for a first down, I believe.
And that's the quarterback I talked about, using his head, not forcing it, making a great decision. And there was really nothing there. Sullivan really had him covered well, but then he makes something out of nothing. See, cover. I got to think, hey, let me get yardage, and then he finds it, and that's a nice run.
First down for Danville. 4 receivers out to the right side of the formation in the stack. They pitch it out there. He's got some blockers. He's got a little bit of daylight. He's inside the 30, inside the 25, and finally out of bounds at the 21, and that was Luke Wooten, number 23, the senior, on the reception.
I'll tell you, Wooten's got some speed, too. If you'll notice here, they were really just struggling at it. See, this is just a pitch and catch, and look what he does here. He kicks on the Jets right about there, and, man, that's 10, 12, 13 extra yards after catch because of his speed.
You talked about Payne being able to manage the offense. The other thing that makes that a little bit easier for him, multiple weapons out on the side. They can get those guys out in space. Payne hands it off the left side. We've got a helmet that's loose. He's inside the 5 and finally taken down.
Now, if this doesn't qualify for a play of the game, the kid loses his helmet and says, I don't care, this one's for the team, and still makes the tackle. I don't think I've ever seen this. 25 years of broadcasting, I don't think I've ever called a tackle with a guy without a helmet.
That was William Newby. He goes both ways for Sullivan, running back and linebacker. There was a flag on the play.
If that's not taking one for the team, I don't know what is. Unbelievable.
We'll wait for the call, but it looks like it's going to be against Sullivan. Look there at the sideline at Coach Powell for Sullivan. So they will place the football at the 2-yard line. So that penalty goes against Sullivan. It's going to set up 1st and goal here for Danville.
I don't know what that call is. We didn't hear it, so I'll see if we can figure out what that is.
Payne this time is going to go under center. He's got Dutra in the backfield behind him. Wooten goes in motion. They give it to Dutra, and he's into the end zone for 6. Danville first to score. They're up 6-0.
Wow, just solid offense. Great blocking. And Jets, just a beautiful drive by the Warriors. They come out throwing, spread the field, and they got Sullivan a little bit on their heels, and then finish it off with a great rushing touchdown there.
Dutra with a 2-yard touchdown run. Point after is up and good, and Danville takes the early lead in this championship. The Warriors up 7-0 here on the ISC Sports Network.
It's time to supercharge your internet with ridiculous speeds up to 1 gig from Endeavor. Get ready for high gear downloads that power buffer-free streaming, gaming, sharing, and surfing. And fire up all your devices at once with reliable speeds amplified by the latest Wi-Fi equipment. Get on the fast track to a powerful online experience. Contact Endeavor and supercharge your internet today.
Back here at Danville High School, the Warriors with a big 4th down stop on the defense. They get the football back and they march down the field and put it into the end zone, and they lead 7-0 here. 5:45 left here in our first quarter.
Yeah, that we talked about the signal from the referee. It was illegal participation, so I don't know if they called that on the young man losing his helmet or not. We'll see if we can figure, but that's what the call was, illegal participation.
I'm getting 2 text messages that say it's KOP, not Cole. Or Cole, it's Cole, it's KOP.
Danville to boot it away here. Braden Walliser to do the duties.
So Danville gets that early score, and how many times have we seen them just come out and really put pressure on the other team by getting that early score?
Nice return there for the Arrows across the 35 to the 36, and that's where they will take over. Solid drive on the first time that they had the ball on the first possession for Sullivan. Came up a little bit short, but really, Jan, in that first drive, they showed that they were able to run the football with King and Newby and the offensive line up front.
And they do it as well as anybody. They really can force a defense to start guessing a little bit. They spread the field. They got so many weapons that it's difficult for a team to blitz. Let's call it that, Danville, because of how many players they can come at you.
Adams will go out of the gun here again. This time they get it to Newby. Newby off the right side for a couple.
Let's take a look.
Comer was in on the hit for Danville. There he is, number 3. Adams this time looking to throw. Deep across the middle, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Danville. It was Caleb Stevens on the interception, the senior defensive back. And just like that, Danville takes it away from Sullivan, and they've got the football back.
Well, one of the things I said early that the thing Sullivan could not do is beat themselves here. And this offense for Sullivan has to stay on the field. Let's take a look here. Little pressure coming from that backside. And that's just a super defensive play. He timed it perfect. And did you see his eyes? I've always said that interceptions start with the eyes. He knew exactly where the ball was, and he made the perfect cut because he knew where the ball was and when it was thrown.
So Danville takes over here at the 47. Payne out of the gun. And Payne looking to take a shot. This one across the middle. And this one's picked off by Sullivan. He's down the sideline to the 50, pushed out of bounds at the 45, and that's Grant Bell. We talked to Coach Powell earlier in the week, and he said defensively, Grant Bell is our guy. He was a junior IHSAA selection last year. He said he can play safety, he can play linebacker, he can play defensive end sometimes. Here, he just makes a play and gets the interception.
That's another great play from the secondary. Absolutely, his eyes were glued too. And so what goes around comes around. I have a question. I have the answer to our question. No player or a non-player shall initiate contact with the opposing player whose helmet has came off. So that was the reason for the foul. Thank my good buddy Rick for that.
Adams under some pressure, spun down and taken down, and on the hit, number 34, Devin Keith for Danville.
Yeah.
Well, even if there was a penalty on that play, Jan, I got
Still-
to that's some guts from that kid.
That is. I mean, I've never, ever seen that. Now, in theory, you shouldn't do that because it's for your own safety. But, man, how could you not love the grit? How can you not love taking one for the team? But it's a safety rule, and it's a good rule. But, man, I've never seen that. It is what it is. Boy, that's a big turnover. Danville doesn't make a lot of turnovers, and both teams now with one apiece.
Just the 6th interception on the season for Payne. Adams this time hands it off to Newby up the middle, gets to the 45 before he's shut down.
Well, I'll tell you, Danville, they get off the ball. It's one thing to get off the ball offensively when you know the snap count. It's another to get off the football defensively when you don't know the snap count. But the key is you got one eye kind of looking at the football and or the team for any movement, and you go as soon as there's movement or that ball snaps. And I'll tell you, Danville's defense gets off the ball defensively maybe as good as anybody.
Reset of the play clock here. Adams again out of the gun, this time just King with him. He's got 4 wide receivers in this set. Adams looking to throw. He's under pressure, and he is going to be taken down. Tyler Dawson on the sack.
Dawson with an excellent read and angle, 6'4", 220 junior. And, you and I were talking about how many this was a dominant junior team last year, and they still have a lot of good juniors on this team. And that's where that culture is. Just continue with a lot of good underclassmen, and that's an excellent defensive play.
Yeah, I mentioned being here last year for the semi-state against Heritage Hills, where they came up a little bit short. But you talk about Doston and McGovern and Wynn and Payne. All those guys played in that big game last year. And a high punt for Sullivan, a fair catch taken at the 31. Maybe not the distance, but great hang time there and no return.
Well, right now, this first quarter, this defense from Danville is not allowing Sullivan to get in a lot of rhythm. Sullivan's had some good running plays. They've had some decent offense. But overall, so far, Danville has really controlled this first period of play with their defense.
And the Arrows have tried to stick to the running game as much as possible. The passing attack has not been effective so far for Sullivan. Payne will go out of the gun again. He's got 3 receivers to his right. Time he turns and hands it off in a big hole across the 50. He's got a blocker with him. Can he outrun the defense? He cannot, but all the way down to the 30-yard line and a huge gain on first down, Matthew McGovern.
McGovern, another one of those running backs. Take a look at this. This is just pure speed. Not a lot of room there, but somehow finds a little gap, and then it's to the races. This is a huge run by McGovern.
First down here for Danville, already in Sullivan territory.
Sullivan's got to find a stop. Danville's playing on all cylinders.
Give it to McGovern again. Positive yards on first down. Look at McGovern too, Jan. No gloves. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a cold day. It's a little bit chilly today. No sleeves, no gloves. Just give him the football,
He's
right?
a man's man. He's just a man's man, a gamer. Look at that.
Like you said, I've got layers on and all kinds of stuff. I'm thinking about my car heater already after the game, and this guy says, I don't need any of that.
I love it. I love it. They show those big arms, those muscles. They should. They've been working out all summer long.
There's McGovern off the left side. Can he get a block? Can he spring it loose? He's inside the 5, down to the 2.
I always say give it to the hot guy. You get a really good run. That guy's feeling it, and go right back to him. He's excited, and he should be. That's a great run. Take a look at this. Here's a great camera view from the backside. He just cuts back inside. That's a beautiful move.
We'll see if they call his number here again on 1st and goal from the 2.
Oh, my, they took him out. Man, I'm thinking I'm having a conversation here. I'm the hottest guy on the field, and I got taken out.
They give it to Dutra, and he punches it in. His second touchdown of the game, and Danville takes control, up 13-0.
It's hard to argue when Dutra comes in. He is so powerful. So it didn't matter who you give it to. They're all really good running backs. Wow, that was an impressive drive. And I'll tell you right now, Sullivan has got to find, and that's exactly why the key to the game for Sullivan, for me, was defense. Unless you defensively can at least control Danville, the rest of it really doesn't matter.
Point after is good, and just in the first quarter, Danville's got a 14-point lead over Sullivan here in our regional championship game on the ISC Sports Network.
Won't be caught. Touchdown. And it's going to be a touchdown. Down the middle of the field, and he will not be touched. 56-yard scamper.
To the race.
Oh, baby.
And he's got Switzer again for a touchdown. This one from 42 yards out.
And they're going to take it to the house on the return.
Duff with the seam.
Look
He's
out.
across the 40.
Oh,
Can
my.
he take it to the house?
Oh, baby.
The freshman Ahmad Duff takes it to the house. What a start to the second half.
Another scoring drive for Danville. They go up 14-0. Our game today brought to us by Indy Card Exchange. At the Indy Exchange, they are actively buying collections from all eras of sports cards. Follow on Facebook and Instagram or go to IndyCard Exchange for more information and to see how you can make money off of your collection.
Minute 24 left in this first period, and right now Danville obviously playing on all cylinders. And the defense, at least for now, has controlled Sullivan. Sullivan now has got to answer the bell and at a minimum try to get some rhythm, some momentum going. And boy, it would sure be good for them if they could find the end zone or at least come away with some points. They just cannot afford to just go down 3 scores here early.
That's what IHSAA, just make sure number 7 present
King on the return across the 25, across
There
the
you
30,
go.
out across the 35, and a nice return for Sullivan.
I really love the effort. He's come out. King has really came out and started this game, second and third effort, and that's what they're going to have. Everybody's going to have to do that to get right back in this thing. That he helps their team get in pretty good field position here to start this drive.
Looks like Randy Kelly in number 11 to take this snap. And an end around. Not much there, and dragged to the ground, and a nice play defensively for Danville. There was Tyler Dawson once again, tackle for loss.
Yep, flag on the play here. Let's see what this call is.
Tackled by 2, Tyler Dawson. Penalty marker on play.
Really sure. Let's just wait and see. I'm not going to guess here.
Wait for the official to make the call. And a false start that'll go against Sullivan. Back him up 5 yards.
Still second down. Penalty declined.
Penalty marker goes illegal formation on Sullivan. Penalty is declined.
That's one of the things we talked about, that Sullivan could not continue to, but make mistakes and take themselves out of this game with mistakes and penalties.
Kelly rolling to his right. He's got a receiver and a catch across the 40 to the 42. Carver Queen on the reception, his second of the afternoon.
Yeah, and I really think Sullivan, earlier than they really wanted to, but the capability, but they're going to have to come out with this passing game and try to spread this Danville defense a little more and make some plays.
Coach Powell had said they are a multiple formation look on offense. They want to show the defense as many different looks as they can, and they'll play about 20 guys on the offensive side of the ball, so they are going to rotate a lot of different guys in and out.
You can see they pretty much call the plays from the sidelines.
Another flag. Kelly scrambling. going to be taken down, and a second flag comes in. That one might have been a face mask. But that first one was kind of in that territory once again of a false start or an illegal.
And you can see here in this picture, the majority of the players have the plays in like a Velcro on their left arm, or most of them on their left arm if they're right-handed, and they'll call a signal, and that's where they know to run the play. I tell you what, I am so thankful they didn't do that when I played, because I couldn't see real close, and so that's what play I would have ran if I had to look at those little numbers. But a lot of teams will do that now, and it's a very successful way of calling plays.
So it was a illegal formation against Sullivan, but a personal foul face mask against Danville. So those will off. It's going to be third down now for the Arrows. Adams back in to take the snap at quarterback. Looks like he's going to have King and Newby with him, and clock winding down. I think that's going to do it for our first quarter. So the Arrows with some extra time to get set for the upcoming third down, and it's a third down early in this contest here. 14-0 Danville leads over at the end of ISC Sports Network, powered by Endeavor Communications.
Again?
Tortured by technology? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with Speed Geeks. Our Speed Geeks are expert technicians ready to rescue you from technology troubles. Our experts are here to get and keep your Wi-Fi running properly. We'll even make sure all of your devices stay connected. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.
The best video on the internet is not the guy of the last week or so. It's the surfing bulldog.
Expecto Patronum, like, Harry Potter. Everybody knows what I'm talking about at home.
I'm not
confused.
12.
You are one of the most disgusting people I've ever met.
You asked. You open up the door. Squeaky. Colts quarterback room is kind of like picking your favorite Ernest movie. They're all pretty bad. You have
Did you actually see any of those?
You have to go. I really was a big Ernest. Yeah.
No
a big
way.
Ernest fan. Ernest Goes to Camp was my favorite.
Getting set for our second quarter here at Warrior Stadium in Danville, Indiana, and the number 5 rated Warriors here on their home turf with a 14-point lead here, Jan, and their offense in that first quarter, very much impressive.
Well, it all starts with the line, and I talked about this in the keys to the game. When your offensive line, can block running and give you plenty of time to throw, and you got the talent that Danville does at the wideouts and a quarterback, that's asking a lot for a defense to stop. And so far, so good, because they're out with great power and just gave their offense all the time they needed and the holes they needed.
Big early down here for Sullivan. Adams rolling to his left, throws across his body, high and incomplete. He was looking for Queen. That's going to set up fourth down long for Sullivan.
And one of the things we don't talk a lot about is the secondary of Danville. They really cause havoc we've seen last week with Tri-West and now Sullivan. They make it difficult for these receivers on the opposing team to make separation and get open. That secondary is as the rest of the
Back deep for Danville is Luke Wooten. End over end, a little bit of a line drive, takes a bounce. And it's going to be down at the 22, and that's where Cale Payne and the Danville offense will take over once again. They've 2 out of 3 on their drives. They did throw an interception in that first quarter, but the defense shut Sullivan down. But the other 2 possessions, it was almost all running the football.
Now, you mark it down right now. Sullivan has to play their absolute, not only best defense of the year, but best defense of this game, best defense, period. They cannot afford Danville just to take off right here and go 3 scores up. This may be as important as defensive as they've had all year long. Let's see if they can pull it off.
Payne out of the gun, McGovern next to him. Looking to the right, and he's got a reception out to Dostin. Dostin across the 35, across the 40. He just won't go down.
Yeah, he runs the underneath route. He has a receiver getting those secondaries to cut off of him. And look, he'll just cut right up underneath him. Perfect throw. And see, he's wide open because everybody else went deep on this side. That forces the inside linebackers and the other linebackers to have to come a long way to make a tackle. I like that play.
Big gain and a first down on first snap of this possession, out to the 42. Turns, hands it to McGovern. McGovern's got some daylight. Foul, tripped up. And that might have been a touchdown-saving tackle there by Luke Adams.
He was one more tackle away from going all the way to the end zone. Take a look at this. This young man is quick. And when he's after quick, then he's fast. I mean, when I say he's quick, he's off the ball just, like a shotgun. And then when he gets open field, he's got another gear. That's not fair. That's a lot of talent in one body.
This time 3 receivers out to the left for Payne. McGovern still in the backfield. Looks to his right, off the fingertips and incomplete. That time he was looking for Matthew Brabeck, number 7.
What a beautiful facility here at Danville. This is a really, really nice stadium. They do it right. They take their football very seriously. They got a beautiful facility here. This is 2 weeks in a row, and they just great host, and they do just a great job here.
Second down, Payne. Little swing pass out to the left to Wooten. Slides through one tackle. He's got a first down along the sideline before he's pushed out of bounds at the 25.
There's Mr. Wooten again. That young man is full of moves and energy like I've never seen. Take a look at number 23 here. He's something special. I want him on my team if I start one because he just takes every play and seems to have that ability to stretch it or make it special.
Another chunk play
Yes,
offensively for Danville. We've seen them numerous times now with those 15 or 20-yard gains. Payne swings it out to Dawson off the right side, and taken down, and a big play by Luke Adams defensively for the Arrows.
Yeah, it's a good play. This is a tough play, and there's your quarterback Adams making the play defensively. This is great tackle, good form, has the head up, wraps, brings him down. That's a tough play, but one-on-one tackle. Who says quarterbacks can't tackle? Would Peyton Manning have did that? I doubt it.
Probably not. Payne again out of the gun. Takes his time, looks to the right, slips out of the back of his hands. The ball is loose across the 50, and an offensive lineman jumps on it. And a huge loss there.
Now the question is, it is misting, and I don't know if the rain's picked up, maybe, but that ball's obviously getting a little slippery here because he goes back to throw this thing. Now look where the seams are. Did you see where he never had the seams? That would have been, now take a look. Look at the seams. See, he never had the seams. You can't hardly throw a football if you don't have the seams.
That was Hayes on the recovery for Danville, but setting up third and forever here for Danville.
That's a great camera work to catch those seams, but
and a good call by you, Jan.
Well, it's truly my eye doctor because he said my eyes were better than ever. Every once in a while, a blind squirrel finds a nut, But that was a tough play.
Payne waits. They set up a screen off the left side to Wooten, and Wooten's got some daylight across the 40 before he's taken down there by Newby.
This is one of my all-time favorite plays, and you don't see it a lot as much as you would think, and it's a timely play. It kind of sets it up. It's kind of a underneath type route, a screen pass. It's a hesitation. This is all about timing and just great timing, execution, and he sold it. You got to sell a screen pass to really make it effective, and they do a great job of that.
Fourth down now. Still long yardage, so they elect to punt. Try to pin Sullivan deep.
This is huge.
And a good kick. It's going to be fielded at the 10 with a fair catch.
Hey, let's give Sullivan defense. a lot of credit here. I really felt like this was a series. They may have to bend a little bit, but they could not break defensively, and they did not. So that's a huge thumbs up to the Sullivan defense to holding Danville here.
You can see it a little bit, Jan. You had mentioned it, the little bit of a mist, almost a light drizzle at this point. So we'll see how long this
There's a lot of rain
affects
coming.
us here.
It hadn't let loose yet, but there's a lot of rain coming, but it's just a small mist, and sometimes that can be as deceiving as you just know it's pouring down.
8:43 on the clock here in the second quarter. Time they hand it off to King off the right side. He is stuffed, but he would not go down.
Coming right into your living room from the backside. I love this look because you get a real feel for who's doing what on the offensive line. I always said, if I ever, because I was an offensive defensive lineman, I said, listen, if I ever get a chance to broadcast, and I've been blessed to be able to do it for a long time, these linemen are going to get a little bit of, attention.
Adams under all kinds of pressure, tries to get it out to Newby, and that one incomplete. Pretty good job there by Adams to just throw it in the vicinity of his offensive player, but basically just throwing it away.
Once again from behind, you see here comes that underneath blitz by that middle linebacker, and that's just a lot of. He's got to read that quicker because he had a little bit of opening, but he waited too long to throw the football. And it is raining a little bit harder for sure.
Third down for Sullivan. Adams rolling to his right. Throws it deep down the side and incomplete. He was looking for Queen, and nice coverage down there by Danville's Andrew Papa.
That was great coverage. Absolutely great coverage. Step for step. Let's take a look here. This is a really nice throw on the run. That shows you his arm strength. Look at that spiral, and that's pretty good defense. Because he really had a nice shot at that, and he threw it only where his receiver could catch it. That was just special defense. It was really good defense.
4th and long here for Sullivan. Newby in a high snap. Is he going to have time to get it off? He does. Takes a Sullivan bounce, but it's not going to cross the 50. But after the high snap, a nice job there by Newby to just get it away and get it out to midfield. Danville will take over 1st and 10. 7:45 to go here in our first half, and they'll have it at the 47.
Danville with really good field position here to start this drive.
Saw Danville turn it over on their last possession on a punt after they had really good field position. Going deep. He's got a man down the middle, and he goes up and brings it in. Brabeck on the reception at the 50.
What a throw, and maybe even a little bit better catch. Outstanding pass play once again. And the key there is he had plenty of time to throw the football. See, nobody, no pressure. That's a problem when you got an arm like this. Look at the concentration and the hands. Starts with the eyes, and then the great hands take over. That's spectacular.
Pretty good coverage there by Luke Adams, but a great throw by Payne, and Brabeck rewards him by going up and getting it.
That's a great point. That was great coverage, and sometimes the other team makes just a little bit better play.
McGovern off the right side, not much there, maybe a yard. We'll see if the Sullivan defense once again can answer the bell here, and if they can keep Danville out of the end zone, keep the arrows right in this game.
I'll tell you, I don't know if Payne has mentioned or accepted where he may play at the next level, but man, if he has it, I would grab this young man. He's special. Just the way he sees the field, got a great arm. Man, I would want him on my team.
McGovern again up the middle, gets inside the 10, maybe to the 9.
Still pretty good defense. Sullivan hanging in there. If they could somehow just get through this first half, just an isolation play. Actually may have been a little better if he'd cut left. He tried to cut right. If somehow Sullivan can just hang in there defensively, keep this to a 2-score game. But they got their work cut out for you as Danville's in the red zone down to the 10 here.
McGovern still in the backfield next to Payne. Payne looking to his left, some pressure, doesn't matter, gets it away, and a touchdown to Dominic Wynn.
Boy, Wynn runs a perfect route. It's the key to, there's not a lot of real estate down here, Thad, so your routes as receivers have to be precise. And these guys have played so long together. He knew exactly when he was going to cut, and he had the ball exactly where he wanted it. A little bit of pressure, but the absolute perfect pass in stride. He makes it look easy, and that's a beautiful, beautiful catch in stride by Wynn. Tough to defend great plays. It really is. I don't care how hard you work defensively. No shame at all on defensively. Sometimes you can make a great play, and it's just not enough.
21-0, Danville ahead here in the second quarter on the ISC Sports Network, presented by Endeavor Communications.
Want lightning-fast internet speeds? Choose Endeavor. Go from slow to whoa, from last to fast, and wait to great. Endeavor Communications is bringing the fastest internet speed in Indiana to your town, so you can download huge files in a flash, stream videos at blazing speeds, and game online faster than you thought possible. Think fast and contact Endeavor Communications today at join.weendeavor.com.
Midway through our second quarter, Danville scores again, this time a 9-yard touchdown pass from Payne to Wynn, and another good look. Defender right in Payne's grill, and he stands in there and delivers it, as you said, Jan, right in the breadbasket for Wynn, and he goes in for 6.
Good passing teams are all about timing and precision, and those are all made during the summer and years of working together. And this whole team has obviously spent a ton of time together, and a great reception usually comes from the cut that you make as a receiver and then with great hands.
Our game today is brought to us by Endeavor Communications. They offer a variety of internet speeds that fit your family or business needs. Surf the internet faster than ever before with internet speeds up to a gig. Contact us at weendeavor.com for more information.
You know, honestly, I thought Sullivan played pretty good defense that whole time. Danville just made some spectacular plays to get that score.
King on the return out across the 30. That's where Sullivan will take over on a pretty important drive here for the Arrows, not only to find some momentum offensively, but really at this point they need to give their defense a little bit of a break, Jan.
Yeah, that's a great point. The defense has lived out on this field. And what they need now more than anything is some momentum, something to go into halftime to bring that momentum, enthusiasm. So, you know, I keep saying, well, this is series. Well, it's starting to be created that way. Everything is now turned into something huge for Sullivan. They really could help their cause here if they could find the end zone.
And hit in the backfield and taken down, and it was Dutra on the hit for Danville, number 9.
Well, there's another one of the seniors making a senior type play. This is Dutra, 5'11", 220, and he just flat out got off the ball. He really anticipated watching the ball, got off in a hurry, and he does that all the time. He's a special player.
Loss of 4. This time Adams out of the gun. He lost the football. It's loose on the turf. Dutra's going to pick it up. Slides through a tackle. He's inside the 10, and Danville's in business again.
Is he always around the football?
He just is.
He just is. You want those guys who just have that sense or that nose that are always around the football. Multiple Warriors here caused the problem. Let's see who first gets him. And there's another slip by the ball, so it's obviously getting pretty slippery. But just pressure, pressure, pressure. Danville's defensive coordinator has just put in a relentless pressure defense against Sullivan here. It's really playing havoc, and obviously the rain is now starting to cause some issues on both sides.
Give some credit to number 5, Luke Adams, for Sullivan to come in and make that tackle to save the touchdown. Payne this time under center. Fakes the pitch, looking to his left. He's looking for a win, and he's got him, and he loses the football, incomplete. I thought Payne had hit him right in stride, and he did. That time just off the fingertips of Wynn.
This is a great route. Now take a look at this route. Wynn comes from behind, and the defender doesn't know really. He's all the way in the back coming across. Yeah, Wynn's going to have nightmares about that one. He had that one, and what did he take off of it? He took his eyes off of it, had it in his hands, kind of took his eyes off of it and started running before he grasped it in his hands.
Payne, this time they will pitch it to Wooten. Wooten off the right side, and he's got room, and he's into the end zone, and Danville with a 27-point lead here in the first half.
Well, they're just, what else can you say? They're just flat out playing on all cylinders, well coached, great athletes, everything really coming together for Danville. Super sharp. Look at the blocks. Look at the blocks downfield. It's all the small things that will take Danville clear to Lucas. If they continue to make those blocks downfield, everybody getting a block, those are the types of things that will win you every level.
PAT good, 4 for 4 on the afternoon in that department, and a 28-point lead now for the Warriors. We're going to take a quick break. This is the ISC Sports Network presented by Endeavor Communications.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
Jamie Comer's squad out to a 28-point head start now over Sullivan. Coach Comer in his first year on the sidelines here at Danville. Got to be feeling pretty good right now. And Jan, before we hit the break after the touchdown, you were talking about the blocking up front, just the way that they've attacked so far in this game. Those are the things that can get you all the way to Lucas Oil Stadium. This is a regional championship game already, so we're deep into the tournament at this point. Winner of this game will face the winner of another game later on this afternoon between Southridge and Lawrenceburg. Southridge at 12-0 on the season. The Tigers of Lawrenceburg at 11-1. So that would be the South Semi-State. And the winner of that obviously would advance to Thanksgiving weekend at Lucas Oil Stadium.
Well, we mentioned last week, we'll mention again, Comer has had tons of success. I mean, he was a state champion offensive coordinator, so it's no mystery why this offense is pretty good, because he's obviously the one who brought it over here and add good athletes to a great offensive coordinator, and wow, you know, that's exactly why he just took off where they left off.
Kelly on the return for Sullivan out across the 35. That's where the Arrows will take over. We'll talk about some of the scores and everything around the state of Indiana from last night at halftime, but as we talked about, Southridge and Lawrenceburg is the other game that's happening in 3A today, so the winner of this game will face the winner of that game. Also in 3A last night, a couple of teams punched their ticket to the semi-state. One of these teams you may have heard of before. I don't know if you've heard of this team before, Jan, the Indianapolis Bishop Chatard Trojans. They've had some tournament success in their past. And then also advancing to the semi-state next week, Mishawaka Marion, another extremely talented team and a highly ranked team. They handled Calumet last night 56-0.
Yeah, it was a really good night of football last night. Kept my eyes on a lot of scores. How about Ben Davis getting better? I wouldn't necessarily – most called it an upset. I think that's fair. But Ben Davis just continues to get better every game. So while it was maybe an upset, it wasn't a surprise.
Hand off to King off the right side, just short of the first down marker by about 1.5 yards. And we'll give some credit to Coach Simmons at Ben Davis on the west side. As you talked about, they've just systematically gotten better throughout the season. And Carmel did the same thing this year. When you had Carmel early in the year, and then we had them later in the year when they took on Warren Central. And from that, they got better and better. Ben Davis had to play a heck of a game last night to beat the Greyhounds.
And I know Jason Simmons really well. You can't find a better coach. He loves the game. He loves his kids. He does it the right way. So nothing surprises me when success comes in his area.
Coach Simmons is one of my go-to interviews when I've had the chance to work on the IHSAA state championship games downtown, and a deep ball and incomplete. Again, looking for Queen down the middle. And Coach Simmons, he's highly involved in the IFCA, and so I always try to pull him for my halftime interviews. He's such a great guy to speak with.
And a pretty good broadcaster, too. I told him, get back to coaching. I don't need competition in doing color, but he's outstanding.
Good look here at Adams' throw, just out of the reach of Queen.
Yeah, it's just enough pressure on the quarterback and double teaming the receivers that Sullivan has just not been able to connect on these.
4th and 1. They hand it off to
he got
Newby.
it.
He's got plenty for the first down. Nice job up front by the Arrows to keep this drive alive.
That's big. I don't care what the score is. What you're telling your kids right now, you're going to play every play, and you're going to play hard, and you continue on. And if you do those things, something good might happen, and we'll worry about the score. But don't be looking at the scoreboard right now for Sullivan. You play your hardest every single play, and I think they showed us that they're doing that.
This time they hand it off to Newby off the left side. Not much there. Morrell, again, number 55, in on the hit.
Trey Morrell, just a junior. Man, he's got to be looked at for some preseason accolades starting next year because this kid is defensively a stud. He's just everywhere.
Now at the 3-minute mark here left in the first half. Sullivan driving at midfield. They need to get some points here before the break. This time Newby off the right side. Gets it to midfield and a gain of 2, but a nice tackle there on the outside. I think that was Comer, number 3, on the hit.
You've called Comer's name many times, and I like his reaction here. He's as a defensive player, when you're getting blocked some way, you've got to find a way to get separation in a hurry, and he did exactly that because he was able to find a way to get separation from that block and then make the tackle on top of it.
3rd down here. Adams out of the gun, looking to throw, looks to his left. He's got a receiver out there. He jumps, and we'll see where they mark him down. I think at the 44, and I think he's going to be just shy of the first down marker.
There's Grant Bell, senior here at Sullivan. Really nice catch, too. In Sullivan there with a nice catch. Number 1.
Danville takes a time to save the clock, this football back here before the break. It's going to be 4th down and 4 for Sullivan, the 46 of Danville. Good look there at the defense squad for Danville. And we talked about a lot of these we've mentioned them last week, right? You've got Comer, and you've got Dutra, and you've got Brabeck, and you've got Wooten, and these guys on both sides of the ball are able to make plays.
Yeah, they really are, and they're obviously playing at home is somewhat of a comfort zone. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what field you play on, but there is something to be said about the comfort of being at home, and now they've been able to play at home 2 weeks in a row, and boy, they just really have started where they left off last week with intensity, hitting hard, making their plays, taking care of business.
And most likely, we don't want to look ahead or project ahead too much, but if Danville is able to hold on to this lead and secure a victory here, they would travel next weekend, either Friday or Saturday, probably depending on who the opponent is, to Southern Indiana, either Lawrenceburg or down to Huntingburg to Southridge High School. A couple of nice facilities in both of those towns as well, Jan.
We talk about big wins from last night. How about the Westfield Shamrocks? Big win over Homestead, 6A. Well, they've just gotten better every week, too.
They seem to really kind of take form after that big win over Brownsburg, Jan, and I think maybe their confidence level went to another level.
No question about it. No question about it. I think sometimes you need that big win and it just ignites you as a ball club. I know they knew they had the talent and thought they could get there, but sometimes it's that big win that really ignites you.
4th down here for Sullivan. Big play. Adams out of the gun. He's under pressure, slides away from the defender, throws it deep. He's got a couple of receivers down there, but it was knocked away defensively, incomplete, and it was Comer again. Now we've seen him not only at the line of scrimmage making plays, this time all the way in the defensive backfield, knocking away the pass.
Boy, he threw this ball a country mile in Danville. Let's take a look here. He had some pressure up the middle, was able to avoid it. Look how long he throws this ball. Then across field to boot. And double coverage, kind of tough to kind of thread that needle.
I got to tell you, Jan, if I try to throw a ball that far right now, I wouldn't feel my arm until tomorrow.
He threw that ball. You consider going from left to right in the distance. He threw that ball a mile.
So the timeout they took and then the incomplete pass is going to leave Danville enough time to go try to get another score. A pass complete to Dawson inside Sullivan territory and knocked out of bounds inside the 45.
Yards after catch. Catches it. An extra 2 to 3.
Just under 2 minutes to go, 1:58.
And I think Danville would love to have another score here. They just, not so much against Sullivan, but just the game and carry momentum to next week.
Payne looks time out in the flat. Dawson again. Nice catch. Newby's helmet flew off again, and so he's come out for one play. And another reception for Tyler Dawson. Second down now.
Oh, officials trying to make some type of call. Here we go.
Officials timeout. Going to reset the play clock.
Yep, now we got it.
I think maybe a little bit of hesitation when they spotted the ball. Payne again. Gets it out to Dawson, and Dawson inside the 20, but he stays in bounds. Still plenty of time right now on the clock for Danville.
Once again, good reception, and then yards after carry. These receivers see catch, maybe an extra 7 to 8 after the catch. It's just kind of been their theme. These receivers are very, very difficult to bring down.
And Payne doing a nice job here on this drive, taking what the defense has given him. He hasn't forced it down the field. Really relying on Dawson here, but let's see if they take a shot to the end zone. Payne looking to his left, now across the middle, and that one incomplete, and I think it's going to be defensive pass interference there against Sullivan. I think it was Grant Bell on the coverage of Dominic Wynn.
And it's actually not a bad penalty because that was going to be a touchdown. So you're better off, if you're going to stop him from scoring, go ahead and do it because he would have scored anyway. So if you got beat, you might as well push him or to a degree and just not allow the touchdown.
Officials are conversing.
Unless they say he pushed off too. We've seen that today in college football a few times where they got offensive pass interference. Let's see who this goes against. So much contact allowed today, more so in college, but they're going to wave it off.
Pick it up.
Yep. So they say nothing there. Probably agree with that. Wasn't a lot there. Today, in today's football, even in high school, there's so much contact. You just have to allow a certain amount because you'd be calling something every single play. So it has to be you got an advantage or you took it too far type penalty anymore. And just call it what it is.
And regardless of the call there, Jan, I like that they discussed it.
Yeah.
They came to what they thought was the right decision and went with that. A double reverse to Brabeck here, and a nice job defensively. That should be a block in the back there.
It is.
And then Brabeck's going to be spun down, maybe a yard or two on the gain. Regardless, that's going to come back for Danville.
Yep, there's only one thing worse than one flag, and that's two next to you. It's that, yeah, we've seen that. So, and that's tough because, see, everything's going one direction, and take a look here. And then all of a sudden, everything's coming back the other. So you as a blocker, you're just – and it's a good call. You know what, intent is just because that's the way the play developed, and it got in place at the wrong time.
Penalty marker is for a blindside block against the Warriors.
We'll see where they spot the ball. Looked like the flag was thrown at 19. So it should be play 24. Or pardon me, yeah.
Yeah, that's just one of those blocks for coach. I'm not going to say much to you at all. You're trying to make a play. and it happens so fast, the guy turns on you. You can't stop going 100 miles an hour when you're trying to. It looked good for a second, and then the guy turns on you. It's super difficult to stop and not get that block. So I doubt that the coach is going to say much to him at all, because it's just one of those things that kind of happened based upon the type of play that they called.
Pardon me, it'll be at the 34, so it's second down here for Danville. Payne under some pressure, throws it to the right, nearly intercepted and incomplete.
Boy, he had that too. He read it perfectly.
Newby.
Boy, Newby just timed that perfectly, and he might have been out to the races too. Take a look at it. He reads it beautifully. He keeps his eyes on the quarterback, knows where the ball's at. Now look at the cut. Oh my, just couldn't quite grab it. And he knew it too. Wow, that's a great play that, boy, had serious potential but just didn't happen. That could have been maybe the break that Sullivan so desperately needed to get some points on the board, get some momentum on their side.
Third down and extremely long now for Danville. 55 seconds to go here in our half. The officials conversing.
Well, one of the rules you don't necessarily like to talk about, but it is a rule, and Danville knows this. If they can get 35 points, it'll be a running clock to start the second half. Makes it really difficult for the other team to have a lot of time to do anything. So whether you like it or not, that's part of the game we play now, and they know that.
A little bit of pressure. They dump it off to Brabeck. Brabeck has some space, gets to about the 19, so the original line of scrimmage here. That'll set up 4th and 10. See if Danville elects to go for the field goal. Walliser, the field goal kicker on the season, 3 out of 4. Is long on the year, 39 yards.
Here comes that inside screen again. See what they elect to do.
Looks like Payne's coming back out here on 4th and 10.
Yeah, this is not surprising.
3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Payne looking to the left. He's got a man wide open for a touchdown. Tyler Dawson. He was the main target on the drive, and they reward him now with a touchdown.
Yep. He got behind the defenders, and the ball was perfectly placed. And he's kind of a mismatch, Thad, because he's 6'4", and he's got nice length. So you try to get him isolated. He's such a tough matchup, but that was just a matter of he got way behind. Sullivan just looked. That play was made to look pretty easy.
They the dice a little bit on with us, and they are touchdown pass from Payne to, and now the Warriors 35-0 here, under a minute to go in our first half. Sports Network presented by Endeavor Communications.
It's time to supercharge your internet with ridiculous speeds up to 1 gig from Endeavor. Get ready for high gear downloads that power buffer-free streaming, gaming, sharing, and surfing. And fire up all your devices at once with reliable speeds amplified by the latest Wi-Fi equipment. Get on the fast track to a powerful online experience. Contact Endeavor and supercharge your internet today.
Another score in the first half. They go up 35-0. And Jan, as I mentioned before the break, it's 4th and 10 from the 19. Instead of sending out the field goal unit, they say, hey, let's go for it. Try to get another score, another touchdown before the break. They get Dawson on a mismatch out on the sideline, and Payne hits him in stride right at the goal line.
Yeah, and you do this because of the mismatch. Now, that being said, he's way behind the secondary, so that not being as big as it could be. But Danville has started this game on all cylinders. They have not let up.
Minute to go. Walliser will kick it away here for Danville.
That's kind of amazing within itself. See how straight that football is? He was able to get stay. Look, it's almost tilting the opposite direction.
Short, almost a inside kick type of scenario there. Bounced, and Sullivan recovers with some pretty decent field position here.
Well, here is there's not a lot of time left, and Danville didn't want any type of run back just to keep from the big run back.
You say they will start at the 44 here. We'll see how aggressive Sullivan will be. Adams looks like he'll start out of the gun with King to his right.
Well, this is one shot at 2.1 seconds left in this half, and now you're going to have a run, so you have no choice but to be aggressive now.
3 receivers left, rolling that way, complete, and go down. He was covered by Warrior defenders, and take us to halftime, and what a half it was for Danville. 35-0 the score here at the break. After the first quarter, a couple of turnovers for the Warriors, but nonetheless a very impressive first half of play here in our regional championship game. 35-0 the Warriors lead on the ISC Sports Network, presented by Endeavor Communications.
Food, shelter, fast Wi-Fi. It's all we really need. Good thing Endeavor has the fast, reliable internet it takes to power all the Wi-Fi hungry gadgets in your home. All at once. With speeds up to 10 gig, get smooth HD streaming video, gaming, music, and surfing, all with no waiting, no buffering, no kidding. Call or click WeEndeavor.com and upgrade to Indiana's fastest internet today.
Brewer jams it home. That ball wiggles in and into the back of the net. A little fireworks in the first half. Throw it up for Tillman. Whoa, my goodness. 122-6-0 for Penn. What a swim. Six of them.
Food, shelter, fast Wi-Fi. It's all we really need. Good thing Endeavor has the fast, reliable internet it takes to power all the Wi-Fi hungry gadgets in your home. All at once. With speeds up to 10 gig, get smooth HD streaming video, gaming, music, and surfing, all with no waiting, no buffering, no kidding. Call or click WeEndeavor.com and upgrade to Indiana's fastest internet today.
The drive, the take, fouled, and it goes! Lobbing it to the back of the end zone. They're going to say it's a touchdown. Left foot gets through. Goal for Vargas. Hamilton will score.
Again?
Tortured by technology? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with Speed Geeks. Our Speed Geeks are expert technicians ready to rescue you from technology troubles. Our experts are here to get and keep your Wi-Fi running properly. We'll even make sure all of your devices stay connected. Give us a call or visit WeEndeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications, technology for real people.
Runs out of a tackle. Hamilton will score. Touchdown, Greyhound. They're going to say it's a touchdown. 77 yards. Keeper, touchdown. Diving grab. One-handed grab on the sideline. Oh, my goodness. What a catch. Falls out. Boom, right there. Ball game over. What a way to start the season.
It's time to supercharge your internet with ridiculous speeds up to 1 gig from Endeavor. Get ready for high gear downloads that power buffer-free streaming, gaming, sharing, and surfing. and fire up all your devices at once with reliable speeds amplified by the latest Wi-Fi equipment. Get on the fast track to a powerful online experience. Contact Endeavor and supercharge your internet today.
Won't be caught. Touchdown. And it's going to be a touchdown. Down the middle of the field, and he will not be touched. 56-yard scamper.
To the race.
Oh, baby.
And he's got Switzer again for a touchdown. This one from 42 yards out. And they're going to take it to the house on the return. Duff with the seam.
Look
He's
out.
across the 40.
Oh,
Can he take it to the house?
Oh, baby.
The freshman Ahmad Duff takes it to the house. What a start to the second half. Everybody, halftime here at Danville High School. Our Endeavor Communications halftime report. Thad Van Deventer, Jan Bozier here with you. And Jan, what an impressive first half of football by Danville. They take a 35-0 lead over Sullivan here at the break.
I don't use big words. Wow's the one I'm going to come up here for this first half performance by Danville. They just were on all cylinders offensively, defensively. They were who we thought they were, if you will. They just held Sullivan, but boy, when you get that running game going, and I said the keys to the game, it was all about the front line offensively and defensively, and they haven't been disappointing at all.
And that's one point in the game that we haven't talked about. We talked about Danville's offense, how they are multifaceted. They can use Payne out of the in the passing attack, and he's got several receivers they can use. They've got Dutra and McGovern in the running game, but that offensive line for Danville has really controlled things, and Payne has had all the time in the world when he stepped back to pass.
Well, multiple backs have ran for big yardage, so the running game's solid, and then they've just given Payne all day to throw, and with those great receivers that he has, that's asking an awful lot of Sullivan's defense to cover all that. That's tough.
For Sullivan, we talked about, establishing their run game early can open up their pass, and they had some success early, especially on that first drive and even their second drive a little bit too. But since then, I don't know if Danville has found something defensively, but we have not seen any success really running the football, and with that, Adams is under a ton of pressure when he drops back to pass.
Well, not being able to run the football for Sullivan is a real problem, and that's something that's kind of brought them there. So when you lost what brought you to the party, that's tough. And now being behind so many points, now you're pressured into you have to pass if you have any shot at all. And so they really try to get that passing game going. And I said during the broadcast, that secondary for Danville's maybe underrated because everybody gets all the publicity. That secondary for Danville is awesome. They did a great job of stymieing that passing game of Sullivan.
Well, going to put you on the spot here a little bit, Jan. You were here last week to see Danville beat Tri-West for the second time this year. You've seen a first half here today. I don't want to jump ahead too much with 24 minutes left in this game, but what do you see out of the Warriors that they can not only take home this regional championship, but possibly a semi-state and advance to Thanksgiving weekend in Indianapolis?
I'm not going to predict anything, but I will say this. They are a very, very good football team. And if they don't make mistakes and penalties, they certainly have the capability to maybe have a great shot at getting to Lucas. We'll see. The other teams want to win too, and they're pretty good. You get down this far, you just never know. Semi-state and then the state, who knows? But you got to win here today. Certainly they have a great lead, and then who knows what they can do. But they certainly have the players and the capability. Let's leave it at that.
We talked about it early on. Winner of this game will face the winner of the other 3A regional championship tonight, which is Southridge at Lawrenceburg. Southridge at 12-0. The Tigers of Lawrenceburg at 11-1. We'll keep you posted on that as our action goes on. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have highlights from the first half and some stats. It's the ISC Sports Network presented by Endeavor Communications.
Again?
Tortured by technology? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with Speed Geeks. Our Speed Geeks are expert technicians ready to rescue you from technology troubles. Our experts are here to get and keep your Wi-Fi running properly. We'll even make sure all of your devices stay connected. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications, technology for real people.
Brewer jams it home.
That ball wiggles in and into the back of the net.
A little fireworks in the first half.
Throw it up for Tillman. Oh, my goodness.
122-6-0 for Penn.
What a swim. Six of them.
Want lightning-fast internet speeds? Choose Endeavor. Go from slow to whoa. From last to fast. And wait to great. Endeavor Communications is bringing the fastest internet speed in Indiana to your town, so you can download huge files in a flash, stream videos at blazing speeds, and game online faster than you thought possible. Think fast and contact Endeavor Communications today at join.weendeavor.com.
The best video on the internet is not the guy of the last week or so. It's the surfing bulldog.
Expecto Patronum, like, Harry Potter. Everybody knows what I'm talking about at home.
I'm not
confused.
12.
You are one of the most disgusting people I've ever met.
You asked. You open up the door. Squeaky. Colts quarterback room is kind of like picking your favorite Ernest movie. They're all pretty bad. You have
Did you actually see any of those?
You have to go. I really was a big Ernest. Yeah.
No way.
Ernest fan. Ernest Goes to Camp was my favorite.
It's time to supercharge your internet with ridiculous speeds up to 1 gig from Endeavor. Get ready for high gear downloads that power buffer-free streaming, gaming, sharing, and surfing. And fire up all your devices at once with reliable speeds amplified by the latest Wi-Fi equipment. Get on the fast track to a powerful online experience. Contact Endeavor and supercharge your internet today.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the IHSAA Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the IHSAA Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at IHSAASportsNetwork.com.
Again?
Tortured by technology? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with Speed Geeks. Our Speed Geeks are expert technicians ready to rescue you from technology troubles. Our experts are here to get and keep your Wi-Fi running properly. We'll even make sure all of your devices stay connected. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.
Back at the break, it's 35-0 Danville leading our halftime show, brought to us by Endeavor Communications. Business phone solutions, more than a phone system. Endeavor offers a hosted unified communication solution that gives businesses the ability to be accessible anytime, anywhere, on any device. Find out more at www.weendeavor.com. Take a look now, too, at some of the upcoming schedule here on the IHSAA Sports Network. And guess what, Jan? In November in Indiana, I know that we're in the thick of the football tournament, but, man, basketball season starts to take over. A couple of good ones coming up. McCutcheon at Clinton Prairie and Clinton Central at Lafayette Central Catholic. Both of those scheduled to be on Tuesday night. So hardwood basketball, the round ball starts to take form a little bit, and fingers crossed we have a successful basketball season as we have had so far to this point for the football season.
Yeah, and let's give a lot of thanks to all the schools. This has been something, obviously unique. We've, talked about that forever, but give all these coaches, the schools, and everybody tons of credit for, at least for now, getting through it. Who knows what the future will bring, but to give these young men and women, whatever sport, was able to, participate in the fall, the ability to participate and at least have a chance. It's super tough, I know last year the whole, spring sports system was shut down, and we stopped in the basketball sectional. So, those are tough things that everybody had to go through. So at least in some form or fashion, at least for now, fall sports has taken place, and thankfully everybody had to do a lot of extra things to make that happen. And thanks to everyone who helped, make football and all the other fall sports happen this year.
So we'll hope, as we mentioned, that we're going to have a successful into the fall seasons. Basically, football is kind of the last fall championship as far as the IHSAA is concerned, and then go into the winter sports season and have great success. We're going to take another quick break here on the Endeavor Communications halftime show. When we come back, highlights from our first half. It's 35-0 here at the break from Danville. You're watching the IHSAA Sports Network, presented by Endeavor Communications.
runs out of a tackle. Hamilton will score. Touchdown, Greyhound.
They're going to say it's a touchdown.
77 yards. Keeper, touchdown. Diving grab.
One-handed grab on the sideline. Oh, my goodness.
What a catch. Falls out. Boom, right there. Ball game over. What a way to start the season.
It's time to supercharge your internet with ridiculous speeds up to 1 gig from Endeavor. Get ready for high gear downloads that power buffer-free streaming, gaming, sharing, and surfing. And fire up all your devices at once with reliable speeds amplified by the latest Wi-Fi equipment. Get on the fast track to a powerful online experience. Contact Endeavor and supercharge your internet today.
Won't be caught. Touchdown. And it's going to be a touchdown. Down the middle of the field, and he will not be touched. 56-yard scamper.
Off to the races.
Oh, baby.
And he's got Switzer again for a touchdown. This one from 42 yards out. And they're going to take it to the house on the return. Duff with the seam.
Look
He's
out.
across the 40.
Oh,
Can
my.
he take it to the house?
Oh, baby.
The freshman Ahmad Duff takes it to the house. What a start to the second half.
Again?
Tortured by technology? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with Speed Geeks. Our Speed Geeks are expert technicians ready to rescue you from technology troubles. Our experts are here to get and keep your Wi-Fi running properly. We'll even make sure all of your devices stay connected. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.
Still at the break here from Danville High School. The Warriors with a 35-point advantage over the Golden Arrows of Sullivan. Thad Van Deventer and Jan Bozier here with you, our Endeavor Communications halftime show. And we're going to take a look now at some of our first half highlights. Obviously, Danville with huge success in that first 24 minutes. There you see Dutra in causing some havoc, and then Morrill taking down King.
I really thought Sullivan came off the bus and played pretty well that first series. They got off the ball, ran the ball pretty well.
This is the play. Wooten, obviously a big gain for Danville on this one, but how about William Newby? No regard for his own safety right there.
That's the toughness that I think you see at Sullivan. There's a statement now. Unfortunately, there's a penalty for doing that. At the point in time, he didn't care and did it anyway.
There was Dutra's first 2-yard touchdown run right there. This was Adams back in the shotgun. He was looking to go deep, and it was picked off there by Caleb Stevens of Danville. But then on the ensuing play, after Danville got the ball, Cale Payne tried to drop one in there, and then bang, just like that, Grant Bell with the interception.
Yeah, Grant Bell timed it perfectly, and that was a huge play at the time because Danville doesn't turn it over very often.
And on the next drive for Danville, that's where McGovern came in and was just bursting huge runs for the Warriors.
Yeah, I thought McGovern really came in and gave Danville a huge spark lift. And they've got multiple guys who can just really run it, including this young man right here.
That was Dutra's second 2-yard touchdown plunge, putting the Warriors up 14-0 at the time.
Danville just continues to get better and better as the game gets going. And once this passing game gets on, then this is exactly what happened. They make good plays, and then they make these type of plays.
Payne to Brabeck there on a big gain, and then this time Payne across the middle to win on a little slant goal line.
Same play, different angle, just a beautiful timing pattern. The end cut, and the ball was perfectly thrown. This is tough here.
Adams for Sullivan went back to throw. This is when the rain started to pick up a little bit. He lost control, and it was picked up there by Dutra.
Yeah, we've seen both quarterbacks at times have a little bit of trouble grasping the football.
And Luke Wooten on the jet sweep in for 6. Nice job blocking. And, you know, one thing we hadn't talked about with Danville on some of those longer runs, Jan, they had blocking down the field, the linemen getting to the second level, receivers blocking defensive backs.
But see, you have the benefit when your team is playing on all cylinders that you really did pay attention to all. Look at all the guys downfield blocking. And that is the difference, again, not to be completely repetitive, of making you the difference maker in a game.
Payne down the side, and that was the touchdown to Dostin from 19 yards out. So to finish the first half, Dutra with two 2-yard touchdown runs. Payne with a 9-yard touchdown pass to win. Wooten had an 8-yard touchdown run that we saw on the jet sweep, and then to cap the scoring off in the first half, it was Payne to Dostin from 19 yards out. All the point after attempts were good, and 35-0 is our score here at halftime. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get you set for the second half of action on the ISC Sports Network, presented by Endeavor Communications.
The best video on the internet is not the guy of the last week or so. It's the surfing bulldog.
Expecto Patronum, like, Harry Potter. Everybody knows what I'm talking about at home.
I'm not
confused.
12.
You are one of the most disgusting people I've ever met.
You asked. You open up the door. Squeaky. Colts quarterback room is kind of like picking your favorite Ernest movie. They're all pretty bad. You have
Did you actually see any of those?
You have to go. I really was a big Ernest. Yeah.
No
a big
way.
Ernest fan. Ernest Goes to Camp was my favorite.
Want lightning-fast internet speeds? Choose Endeavor. Go from slow to whoa. From last to fast. And wait to great. Endeavor Communications is bringing the fastest internet speed in Indiana to your town, so you can download huge files in a flash, stream videos at blazing speeds, and game online faster than you thought possible. Think fast and contact Endeavor Communications today at join.weendeavor.com.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
It's time to supercharge your internet with ridiculous speeds up to 1 gig from Endeavor. Get ready for high gear downloads that power buffer-free streaming, gaming, sharing, and surfing. And fire up all your devices at once with reliable speeds amplified by the latest Wi-Fi equipment. Get on the fast track to a powerful online experience. Contact Endeavor and supercharge your internet today.
Back here for the final time on the Endeavor Communications halftime show. Good look there at the Warriors on the sideline, getting themselves prepared for the next 24 minutes of action. And a great look there at head coach Comer. His squad came out, hit on all cylinders in that first half, and looking to advance to the semi-state, as we talked about. 5 regional championships in the history of Danville High School. The last one just last year, 2019. First one, 1986 for them. They've had 3 2A regional championships and 2 3A regional championships. The 3A regional titles came in 2017 and 2019, so looking for their 3rd trip to the semi-state in the last 4 years. Jan, that first half, we talked about it. Danville came out, really played well. We saw Sullivan on their opening drive really march the ball down, came up a little bit short on 4th down, and really from that point on, it was kind of all Warriors, both offensively and defensively.
Well, as a team like Danville is, you never want to allow the opponent, who in this case was an underdog, that's not a mystery, to have any type of spark. So it's important for you to get off to good starts, because when your opponent gets a touchdown maybe or a score and gets some momentum, who knows what might happen. And Danville always seems to get off to a really good start, and that just helps their cause in these games.
Winner of this game will play the winner of Southridge and Lawrenceburg. That game about to kick off in about 28 minutes from now at Lawrenceburg. Southridge is number 4 in Class 3A. They're 12-0 on the season. Lawrenceburg, number 5 they're number 6 in the media poll. They are tied with Danville, number 5 in the coaches poll. The Tigers of Lawrenceburg at 11-1 on the season. We mentioned this is just one of 4 3A regional games. 2 of them played last night. Mishawaka-Marion took out Calumet 56-0, and then Indianapolis Bishop Chittard upended Fort Wayne Concordia 28-18. Concordia, one of those teams similar to what you see out of Evansville Mater Dei, who also advanced last night. Their record does not indicate just how good they are. Concordia plays in the Summit Conference up in Fort Wayne, so battling the likes of all the bigger schools around the city. Same can be said for Mater Dei down in the Southern Indiana Athletic Conference. They're going up against the Castles and the Memorials and all of the bigger schools down there. They're just battle-tested in the regular season through their conference slate. Turns into success once they get into the tournament.
Well, we're down to just a few teams here in Class 3A, and of course I think a lot of people would say Chittard might be the favorite, could be the favorite, but boy, you got to put Danville in that conversation, and the other schools, 3, you know, and certainly no shame at all for Sullivan. Hey, let's take for granted what they've accomplished as the last year.
And we've talked about this before, kind of in programs that are kind of establishing themselves, right, Jan?
Yeah.
This is the first sectional championship in the history of Sullivan High School. They've been playing football there for a long, long time. First sectional title. And so for them, and Coach Powell, it's in his 4th year at Sullivan. You know, not only do we talk about he came from Linton Stockton, he's brought a different mindset to the program there at Sullivan. They can take this second half, if they're able to play well this 24 minutes, they can build on that for next year. And then guess what? You make a return trip to the regional, right? We talked about Danville's success over the recent years. That doesn't happen overnight. You have to build the program piece by piece to get it to where these Warriors are right now.
You know, that's a great point. You take a step at a time. The next step this year was getting a sectional championship. Now you're playing in the regional game. You know what it takes, and you want to make improvement. Now that you've got a taste of it, then you'll want to raise your bar every single year. He's doing all the right things. As I mentioned, he's had winning seasons 3 years in a row. Now sectional championship, he's doing it the right way.
Good run there by McGovern out to midfield for Danville, so they're opening the second half now on a nice drive, and we'll see how they elect to play this, but I expect a lot of rushing attack here from McGovern and Dutra here in the second half.
Yeah, they'll keep it on the ground until the defense completely gets all sucked in, and then they'll open it up some more. But look for them. There's an offsides. They know. Here's what Danville knows. They know they've got to be able to run the football every next step. So look for them. There's a lot of this game, but there's also a lot of the next game being played here because you still have to fix things. You still got to tidy up some things. So look for them to really try to work on the running game.
And we talk about it every year, Jan. We have been lucky, really, to this point in the season, but a lot of times when you get late into the tournament and you get into middle and late November, the weather is always a little bit of a question mark, how that's going to dictate things, and you have to be able to run the football when you get deep into the state tournament.
Yeah, good state championship ball clubs almost always, have 2 things, very good defense and a really good running ball club. Doesn't mean they can't pass or don't pass quite a bit, but as a rule, most of them are pretty even. They're balanced, but they play great defense and they run the football effectively. That's the recipe that you see more often than not.
And a big hit there from William Newby from Sullivan to take McGovern down. He was excited about that.
I like the way Sullivan plays. I see all the right ingredients to success. They do it the right way.
And I know the score doesn't indicate this at all at 35-0, but they have also been a pretty physical football team tonight.
Yeah, they've hit really well.
McGovern up the middle, gets back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe a yard past it.
You know, a lot of people say, well, this team or that team. No, Sullivan's really good. At least tonight, as so far, Danville's just been better. Doesn't mean Sullivan's not good. It's just they're right now against a team that's played a little better tonight.
Third down now, and call it 8 here for the Warriors.
How about that crowd for Sullivan? I know there's restrictions on how many can come, but that's a great crowd for Sullivan.
I had saw actually, I think maybe Thursday night from the Danville official athletics Twitter account. I think the game was sold out, and an interception picked off for Sullivan down the sideline. Can he get some blocks He's pushed out of bounds by Payne, and on the pick, Caleb Hughes, the senior, 6'3", 175 for the Arrows.
And this is just not a good throw. Let's call it what it is. He wants this one back. I'm not sure why or what he's seen to make this happen. Maybe the ball slips, don't know, but that ball is severely underthrown. But, you know, the defense makes a great play on it. And here's one of the things, all the great things that Danville has already, you know, done today, here's one thing they got to be careful about is looking up the scoreboard and taking their foot off the gas, because you need all the momentum that you can get out of this game going into next week. So you still have to play as hard as you possibly can. Maybe not so much for this game, but you got 2 more, hopefully, that you'll get to play. And you don't want to go into next week's game ending this game sloppy.
Hand off to King for positive yards for Sullivan. And I'm positive, I mean, we were not in the locker room, but I'm positive Coach Powell challenges guys there in the locker room saying, look, let's win this third quarter, right? You break it down. You win the third quarter. Let's win the fourth quarter. Let's win the second half.
Great effort.
Adams taken down. And once again, Comer in the backfield, and a big loss back to midfield.
A game victory is the equal of a lot of small victories during the game. That's what equals a big victory. And here's great effort that time. Don't look like somebody from Sullivan missed a block, because I don't think he was even touched as he came through the line, and that's Comer again. And, man, he's just a superstar on the defensive side.
Third down now for Sullivan. Adams out of the gun, this time 3 receivers to his right, the top of your screen. He's looking that way. Down along the sideline, and that one is intercepted.
Yep, underthrew him by just a step.
That one is Brayton McMahon, number 11 for the Warriors. Junior at 5'11", 165, gets the pick.
Ball was underthrown by just a little bit, but the defender makes a nice interception here. Sees the ball the whole time. Ball just underthrown by about a yard. He had him beat for a step, but he just needed that ball to be on the outstretch of his arms where he had a shot at catching it.
He was looking for Carver Queen. He's the favorite target for Adams in the receiving corps. Danville off the interception will take over at the 20. And we'll note, we mentioned it during the halftime show, but at 35, at a 35-point lead is a running clock now in the state of Indiana at high school. So about 4.5 minutes right now to go in our third quarter.
Boy, I like this young man right here. Yes, he does run hard, and man, you know, that shows you competition's healthy, because they got multiple running backs, and they all want to get in this game, and so they know when they do, they got to show themselves. But this young man, McGovern, has absolutely put on a show running the football here tonight.
And we talked about it in the first half. I love the no sleeves, no gloves, old school approach of this guy.
Under 4 minutes now in the third period.
This time off the left side for a couple. And I don't want to downplay, and I know we talked about it at halftime, I don't want to downplay how good the offensive line has been for Danville. They were good last week against Tri-West. I think they've probably even been better here tonight. But up front, from left to right, you got McCormick at left tackle, Hayes at left guard, Caudle at center, Woodard at right guard, and Pickle at right tackle. Those guys have been pretty impressive here this evening. To McGovern again. Positive yards across the 40. McGovern, just a junior for Danville, 5'9", 161 is what he's listed as.
You were reading my mind. I was looking down to see what grade he was. Man, he's going to bring some excitement back to this team next year. Holy cow.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the experience that this team has, but you look at Cale Payne coming back next year, Matthew McGovern's coming back. I mean, you do have some returning guys that are going to be here and have been in big games and able to play in big games.
Yeah, to my count, Danville has 18 seniors, so they bring a lot of experience back with this senior class. But we keep mentioning good junior after good junior, so the cupboard's not going to be bare for sure. On the other side of the ball tonight, we have 13 seniors on this nice Sullivan ball club, and boy, you know one thing they're going to be talking about forever. I was a part of one of the first sectional championships in Sullivan history. That will be with them forever and ever and ever, and that's something they should be very proud of.
4th and 1 here for the Warriors. Payne's going to go out of the gun. They've got 3 receivers to the left. McGovern in the backfield again. Hands it to McGovern, and he's got enough for a first down, plus a few more. Still fighting for yardage. He's out across the 45.
Still running hard.
Tackle by 1, Grant Bell. That'll be good for a Warrior. First down.
Good look there at Coach Comer and his defensive staff, or his coaching staff there as well. 1 minute to go here in the third quarter. Now, you mentioned it, Jan. Good crowd here for Sullivan.
There's a good crowd on both sides, really.
It's a fairly lengthy drive from Sullivan, Indiana, and Sullivan County all the way up here to Danville.
And you know, if obviously we could, this place would be packed beyond packed.
Absolutely, it would be filled.
Be standing room only. So I'm so thankful that at least, you know, some were able to hear. Take a look at 58 here for Sullivan.
Jack
That's
Ridgway.
He's just a junior. That's a really good play, and he's a big young man, 6'5", 250. He'll be returning. A lot of nice juniors on this Sullivan side as well, and he's certainly one of them. And he's a big young man, and that's who they'll build off here defensively.
2nd and 11. Payne to McGovern. McGovern out to the 49.
Is that going to do it here for the third period? That's it.
That'll take us to the fourth quarter. Danville still leading their contest, 35-0. They're looking for their 3rd regional championship in the last 4 years on the ISC Sports Network, presented by Endeavor Communications.
Food, shelter, fast Wi-Fi. It's all we really need. Good thing Endeavor has the fast, reliable internet it takes to power all the Wi-Fi hungry gadgets in your home. All at once. With speeds up to 10 gig, get smooth HD streaming video, gaming, music, and surfing, all with no waiting, no buffering, no kidding. Call or click WeEndeavor.com and upgrade to Indiana's fastest internet today.
Brewer jams it home. That ball wiggles in and into the back of the net. A little fireworks in the first half. Throw it up for Tillman.
Oh, my goodness.
122-6-0 for Penn.
What a swim. Six of them.
Back here for the fourth quarter from Danville High School, and our action this afternoon has been brought to us by Endeavor Communications. Tonight's game is being broadcasted on the ISC Sports Network in partnership with Endeavor Communications. Please send us a note on social media or give us a call to let us know you are enjoying these broadcasts.
I want to thank our crew here at ISC. We've had a blast. I've really enjoyed working with you on these games, and thank Greg and all the crew here to get to work with them on bringing these telecasts. But they do a great job, and we've just had a blast.
Big hit there in the backfield for the Arrows. That was Grant Bell, number 1, in on that hit, and I think it was also Randy Kelly, number 11, in on that stop. But a sensational job, Jan, by the crew at ISC Sports Network. I'm super appreciative that they allow us to come have some fun and hang out and see some great high school action.
No doubt about it. It's been a tough year, but we've got through it, and we've had a blast in doing so.
4th down now for Danville. It's 4th and 8. The Warriors going to punt this one away. Comer back to do the duties. And a nice kick for Comer. Fielded at the 15.
Got a little room.
He's got some room, some space out to the 40, and that was Grant Bell on the return. And a nice return out to the 44.
Yeah, Grant Bell, another one of those seniors. You've mentioned his main name multiple times. So let's take a look at this. It's still the effort. You know, here's a senior watching that clock tick down and don't know his future plans, but he just playing hard for the love of his school and the game.
Yeah, Coach Powell had mentioned that Bell was a IHSAA Junior All-State last season. This time Adams going to go under center. Turns and hands it off to King, and King with a big gain, 11 yards and a first down.
That was the King we seen early on in the first period, really getting off the ball well and running hard. And he's another one of the seniors here on this fine group of seniors for Sullivan. 13 of them, my unofficial count. Hope I didn't miss one.
King again with a nice run out to the 40.
Well, you think it's a long journey. You start your careers, you know, back in elementary and junior high and then high school. And then before you know it, you're a senior. They go, whoa, where did that go? You don't think that when you're working, you know, hard during the heat, the August, and the workouts, but it's one of the best times of your life. You know, you have friendships, you know, that you develop that you'll never forget. There's something special about all sports, but specifically if you love football, it's just a bond you just never forget.
Yeah, you never think about that, you know, when you're running those extra sprints in the August heat and all that.
No,
but
you're thinking, A, where's the swimming pool? And B, why did I sign up for this?
Where's the air conditioning?
Yeah.
First down for the Arrows. This time they're going to pitch it to King off the right side.
Wow, he's really running. I love it. You know, that's when you take pride. That's coming from the coaching staff. Guys, you take pride in every single offensive and defensive play. You take pride in this school and what you do and who you're doing it for. Really like the attitude.
Gain of about 5 yards of play brings up second down.
They fake it to King, nowhere to go, and Adams keeps it himself.
Look out!
He's inside the 10. Can he get there? Yes, he can. The Arrows on the board.
Good for him. Good for him.
He dropped back to pass, couldn't find a receiver, tuck, run, and it works out, and a touchdown for Sullivan.
Good for them. Take a look here. The fake. Feels pressure from the backside, cuts it up. Has some speed. Young man into the end zone. Good for him. Going for two. Cuts back up.
Kelly gets there.
How about
2-point
that?
conversion good. 8 points now on the board for the Arrows. It makes our score 35-8 here in the fourth quarter.
A little razzle-dazzle. Like it. Make something happen.
And a nice series there for the Arrows, and they punctuate it with a touchdown run by their quarterback, Rowdy Adams. 35-8 our score on the ISC Sports Network, presented by Endeavor Communications.
Food, shelter, fast Wi-Fi. It's all we really need. Good thing Endeavor has the fast, reliable internet it takes to power all the Wi-Fi hungry gadgets in your home. All at once. With speeds up to 10 gig, get smooth HD streaming video, gaming, music, and surfing, all with no waiting, no buffering, no kidding. Call or click WeEndeavor.com and upgrade to Indiana's fastest internet today.
Back here at Warrior Stadium, the Arrows on the board after a nice run from Sullivan quarterback Rowdy Adams, and the 2-point conversion good, 35-8. And we talked about this earlier in the third quarter, Jan, but that competitive nature that Coach Powell has instilled in this Sullivan program, showing itself right here in the second half. They were not going to be denied, and that time on that drive, it was all on the ground. They just lined them up and just tried to attack that Danville defense.
He wants to carry the momentum he's established this year over into the summer and to next year. for this football program. And he's still coaching hard. They're still playing hard. That's all you can really ask.
Short kick, and it's loose on the turf, and who's got it? I think Danville got it back. Looks like Wooten 23 had it at the 40. But it was sitting on the turf for a couple of moments there, and it looked like the Arrows had at least one opportunity at it, but Luke Wooten saves the day right there for Danville.
Danville now getting a lot of their second and other team members into the ball game now, trying to get them some playing time. And boy, you applaud that. It's a tough decision when to do that, because you want to carry momentum to next week, but you know what? These young men have practiced real hard. They deserve some playing time too. So thanks to the coaching staff for giving a lot of these players here a chance to play in a regional title game.
Christopher D. Benedetto in at QB now for Danville, sophomore, 6'1", 145. And a new running back into the contest as well. Looked like Zachary Barrick, 43 on the carry.
6:30.
6 minutes, 30 seconds to go.
No. Rain has trickled throughout this game, but it never has just let loose like what was the game we had over at Monrovia?
Right.
Oh, my word. We were starting to build our arc about halftime.
Yeah. You know, to use a nice commentator, where it was a deluge.
It was
over there. Barrick again on the carry. A couple yards short of the first down, set up 3rd and 2.
Really, for the most part this year, we've been pretty fortunate. That Monrovia game was really the only or first game that we had serious rain, and we've had some with just a little bit of moisture, but for the most part, we've been pretty fortunate. Had really nice Friday nights, and really a lot of them deep into the fall. It was pretty warm.
3rd and 2. Hand it to Barrick again and hit in the backfield and taken down for a loss. And that was Newby in on the hit, number 32, once again for the Arrows.
Yep, Newby makes another play. He's made multiple plays tonight. It's a good play on his part. Take a look. Keeps the head up. Wraps. Gets some help.
Newby just a junior for the Arrows, and you can just tell, we saw the play early on in the first half where he loses his helmet and he still makes the tackle. That's a guy that just loves football. Loves football, plays with some intensity, some aggression. Going to go for it here on 4th down. Fake the handoff, and then he's taken down. I think a flag's going to come in for a face mask.
Grab the old grill. He tried to get out of there before they could see it, but it was too late. They already see the face mask. Sometimes, certainly not intentional, when you're in there trying to bring a guy down, sometimes that hand just gets too high and gets a piece of that face mask. So there's, take a look here. So he's just trying to make a play at the last. You know what? I'm not sure he got that. Well, I don't think that's the same play.
And you know, on 4th and 4.
Here we go. Let's take a look. Here's the right play. And yes, he did. You're guilty.
And that
those two plays were really close.
And that was on 4th and 4, too. They had him in the backfield for a stop. They would have got the football back in Danville territory, too. And penalty is going to cost them not only possession, but some time off the clock as well. It'll give Danville a first down. D. Benedetto in pistol formation this time. Takes the snap, a little, I don't know if that was miscommunication as well as it just mistimed there. He looked to hand it off to Barrick, unable to do so, and a loss on the play.
Well, for sure, I believe Danville will be on the road next week because they've been home 2 games in a row. So I don't think you can play more than 2 games on the road unless the other teams also play. Then there's some decision process that decides where the next home game is. But more than likely, they will not. This will be their last, unofficial home game of the year. 2:30 now left in this one.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jan. Once you play 2 consecutive at home, you're most likely on the road unless some other scenario happens. As we mentioned earlier, it'll be the winner of Southridge and Lawrenceburg is who Danville's going to face in the semi-state coming up next week.
Well, you know what? Danville's certainly did their job, 10-0. They weren't able to play all their games this year, but the ones they played, they won, and that's all. You can only control what's in front of you, and they certainly control their destiny here. And this defense, that average is going to do nothing but go down just a little bit more, giving up 9.6 per game coming into tonight. It's not going to come down a lot, but it's still going to come down a little more. That defense is clearly the key
that
to
one
this
is
game.
Picked, and that's going to be taken to the house for Sullivan.
There you go.
Nice job there defensively by Carver Queen, number 2, with the interception and takes it to the house for the Arrows.
Well, he timed it perfectly, and that's one as a quarterback. And then the young quarterback, he's in there, hadn't had a ton of reps game time, but threw that just a little late. When you do that and it's out there in the flats, that's pick 6 time. Congratulations to Sullivan there for another score.
See if they go for a 2-point conversion here again as they did on their previous score here in the 4th quarter. Kind of a unique setup on that last 2-point conversion as well. They only had the center and then 2 people in the backfield with the rest of the line formed out to the left side. This one a similar formation here again. Man in motion, they take it, and then they throw it to the end zone in a 2-point conversion. Some creative plays here at the goal line for Sullivan. And the 2-point conversion good, making the score 35-16.
Yeah, once again, Sullivan just keeps playing. There's a lot of substitutions now for both sides and making plays. But you know what? When you get your opportunity to play, you go play. And you don't look at the score, you go play hard. Taking a look here. Just threw it just a tad late, and he already had a great jump on it defensively and just picks it off, takes it to the house, and he'll be watching this replay over and over and over. I would too, Jan.
I'd go home and immediately I would watch that replay.
But back when I played, we didn't have VCRs or anything like that, so we didn't get this opportunity to, continually set it on rewind and go to bed and just watch yourself score and score and score.
Well, let me tell you, when I was in high school, I didn't play football, but played basketball. The worst was we had the VHS tapes.
Oh, yeah.
Our coach at the time, Coach Hart, would bring us into the office and he'd make you watch whatever plays you did horrible at, right? He would never show you the highlights. Next week, Jan, some really good matchups across the board in semi-state action. We'll start in 6A in the north, Maryville and Westfield. You mentioned the Shamrocks earlier. In the southern portion of the semi-state, how about Ben Davis and Center Grove in a MIC rematch there. 5A, Valpo against Zionsville. Zionsville, the Eagles, victorious last night on a let me see if you've heard this name before, Jan. On a Vinatieri game-winning field goal.
No pressure to the sun there.
Cathedral and Castle advance in 5A as well, so those two will match up. In 4A, Hobart, the Brickies, with some success again. They'll take on the Giants of Marion. And in 4A South, a nice matchup on the south side of Indianapolis, Roncalli and Mooresville. North in 3A, Mishawaka Marion and Chittard. In 2A, Pioneer takes on Fort Wayne Lures, and Western Boone sees Evansville Mater Dei. And then in Class A, you've got Lafayette Central Catholic and South Adams in the north, Covenant Christian and West Washington in the south. That'll do it for our game tonight. Final score, Danville 35, Sullivan 16. The Warriors, regional champs once again for the third time in 4 seasons. And a nice look there at Coach Powell and Coach Comer greeting each other there at midfield. And how about these Warriors, Jan, marching on once again to the semi-state?
Well, they certainly came and took care of business, did it in, the fashion that they wanted to take care of it in. Sullivan, came out, played well, but just quite honestly tonight was just overmatched a little bit by a veteran Danville team. This is where Sullivan wants to get, where Danville's already came to, and I think they'll get there.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back, our post-game show coming up. Warriors win and advance to the semi-state on the ISC Sports Network, presented by Endeavor Communications.
Again?
Tortured by technology? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with Speed Geeks. Our Speed Geeks are expert technicians ready to rescue you from technology troubles. Our experts are here to get and keep your Wi-Fi running properly. We'll even make sure all of your devices stay connected. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications, technology for real people.
Runs out of a tackle. Hamilton will score. Touchdown, Greyhounds.
They're going to say it's a touchdown.
77 yards. Keeper, touchdown. Diving grab.
One-handed grab on the sideline. Oh, my goodness.
What a catch. Falls out. Boom, right there. Ball game over. What a way to start the season.
It's time to supercharge your internet with ridiculous speeds up to 1 gig from Endeavor. Get ready for high gear downloads that power buffer-free streaming, gaming, sharing, and surfing. And fire up all your devices at once with reliable speeds amplified by the latest Wi-Fi equipment. Get on the fast track to a powerful online experience. Contact Endeavor and supercharge your internet today.
Back here at Danville, there you see the Warriors celebrating with a trophy in the end zone. Regional champs for the third time in 4 years, 2017, 2019, and now 2020 for the Warriors. Victorious 35-16 tonight over the Sullivan Golden Arrows. And we talked about remembering, the good times that you had. Nothing paints that picture better than a nice little championship team picture when everyone's got that one finger up.
This is what you play for. This is what you practice for. And it never gets old. Never gets old to hold that trophy. I don't care what level of the tournament you win. This is really fantastic.
Our game tonight and our post-game show tonight brought to us by Endeavor Communications. Great work as well to our ISC Sports Network crew, and a big shout-out to Endeavor Communications. Jan, we talked about it a little bit there in the second half, but final thoughts from tonight. Let's start with Danville victorious. They'll face either Southridge or Lawrenceburg next weekend.
Well, first of all, so well coached. They just don't beat themselves. They come out ready to play from the get-go. In most cases, they've been able to take the game early and just continue on. So they've got a great shot. The competition gets a little better every week, so they got their work cut out for them. But are they capable? Absolutely.
Let's turn around for Sullivan, first sectional championship in school history. Obviously, they got down early in this game, but really fought in the second half. And we talked about it. Obviously, they came up short tonight. But I was very impressed with their aggression tonight and how physical they played as a football team.
Absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. This is a team that we're going to hear from. And I hope we get to see them, have that success in the upcoming years. Sectional this year, hopefully they can repeat that and then take it to the regional round. They've got the right coach. He has not had anything but winning seasons since he's been there. He's got the program in the right decision. The thing I like about Sullivan is they never stop playing hard. They played hard the whole game. Great year.
Let's take a look ahead, Jan. I'll put you on the spot a little bit here, but we got some huge semi-state matchups across the state of Indiana next weekend. Give me one or two that you're in particular really excited about.
Well, I'm excited because I am a Hamilton County boy for the Westfield Shamrocks. When I went to school, Westfield was just a real dinky little school. Now they're just mammoth, and Coach Gilbert has did a phenomenal job, of just 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A. Now he's got there taking them from 5 to 6A, and now to be a contender to hopefully go to the state. I like Westfield a lot.
I think two that really kind of stand out to me, I think Ron Kiley and Mooresville next weekend will be a fun one. And then in 2A, I really want to see how that matchup plays out between Western Boone and Evansville Mater Dei, a couple of programs over the years that have had huge success. And speaking of Western Boone, how about a couple of Sagamore Conference teams advancing to the semi-state?
Western Boone just keeps winning. You know, somebody texted me today and asked me, what is Western Boone's formula? I mean, they're not that big of a school, but they have a culture. That's what I answered. They've won back-to-back state championships. Now they lost the offensive guy, and they're still winning.
And you talk about the competition they play in the Sagamore, so they're going up against Danville and Tri-West and North Montgomery and some larger schools as well. They're battle-tested, just like we've talked about with some of the other schools as well. Let's get now to some of our awards from the game. Let's start with our play of the game tonight. And this one, early in the contest, it was Cale Payne dropping back to pass and hits his buddy Brabeck with a huge reception that set up Danville for a score right after this.
Well, this is a piece of the puzzle that makes Danville so special because they do have that deep threat. They have good length in their receiving core, and so you can put it up there and then go up and give it. And you got a guy who can throw that ball a country mile. And if he doesn't put this where this guy can catch it, it's right in the middle of double coverage. Great pitch and catch.
And a nice job by Matthew Brabeck, waiting, timing it, going up, and grabbing that football out of the air. That was our play of the game tonight. Now time for our player of the game tonight. And we had a couple of options here for the Danville Warriors, but we're going to go with number 9, the senior Ethan Dutra. A couple of touchdown runs, both from the 2-yard line, but he did it both offensively and defensively tonight, Jan.
He's just a stud. That's why he is who he is on both sides of the ball. He plays hard. He's a tough-nosed kid. And when they need something done, who do they go to? It's Dutra for sure.
There was Dutra on the fumble recovery. His buddy Comer was in. Jacob Comer was in to cause some havoc, and then Dutra there to pounce on the fumble returns. As we talked about, 2 touchdown runs for Dutra this evening and a fumble recovery to go along with numerous plays on the defensive side of the ball and a couple of tackles for loss as well. Ethan Dutra, the senior from Danville, our player of the game tonight. Jan, final thoughts from this evening?
Boy, I'll tell you, first of all, once again, thanks to the IHSAA crew. Phenomenal job always. We've just had a blast. Last game, didn't turn out exactly the way Sullivan wanted it, but we've highly documented they're a school and a team on the rise. And Danville, hey, they are the real deal. They got a couple more stops, super big teams they're going to have to defeat. But I will tell you this, they are a team that can do it.
As Jan said, a big shout out to our ISC Sports Network crew, and thank you so much to Danville High School as well as Sullivan High School, Coach Powell and Coach Comer, extremely accommodating, getting us and providing us with great information on their teams leading into this week. Final score tonight, 35-16. Danville victorious over Sullivan. The Warriors' 3rd regional championship in the last 4 years. Their 6th overall. As we talked about, they will advance to the semi-state next weekend to take on either Southridge or Lawrenceburg. For Greg Mash and my partner Jan Bozier, I'm Thad Van Diemer. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight on the ISC Sports Network.
It's time to supercharge your internet with ridiculous speeds up to 1 gig from Endeavor. Get ready for high gear downloads that power buffer-free streaming, gaming, sharing, and surfing. And fire up all your devices at once with reliable speeds amplified by the latest Wi-Fi equipment. Get on the fast track to a powerful online experience. Contact Endeavor and supercharge your internet today.
The best video on the internet is not the guy of the last week or so. It's the surfing bulldog.
Expecto Patronum, like, Harry Potter. Everybody knows what I'm talking about at home.
I'm not
confused.
12. You are one of the most disgusting people I've ever met.
You asked. You open up the door. Squeaky. Colts quarterback room is kind of like picking your favorite Ernest movie. They're all pretty bad. You have
Did you actually see any of those?
You have to go. I really was a big Ernest. Yeah.
No way.
Ernest fan. Ernest Goes to Camp was my favorite.
Again?
Tortured by technology? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with Speed Geeks. Our Speed Geeks are expert technicians ready to rescue you from technology troubles. Our experts are here to get and keep your Wi-Fi running properly. We'll even make sure all of your devices stay connected. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications, technology for real people.
Won't be caught. Touchdown.
And it's going to be a touchdown!
Down the middle of the field, and he will not be touched. 56-yard
And
scamper.
off to the races.
Oh, baby.
And he's got Switzer again for a touchdown. This one from 42 yards out. And they're going to take it to the house on the return. Duff with the seam.
Look
He's
out.
across the 40.
Oh,
Can
my.
he take it to the house?
Oh, baby.
The freshman Ahmad Duff takes it to the house. What a start to the second half.
Want lightning fast internet speeds? Choose Endeavor. Go from slow to whoa. From last to fast. And wait to great. Endeavor Communications is bringing the fastest internet speed in Indiana to your town. So you can download huge files in a flash. Stream videos at blazing speeds. And game online faster than you thought possible. Think fast and contact Endeavor Communications today at join.weendeavor.com.